I'm a senior associate in the commercial space, so primarily advising clients across sectors such as technology, healthcare, digital assets, working with many startup businesses. My work often involves reviewing and drafting lots of very detailed documents and agreements, lots of reading, and managing transactions and negotiations, and then, of course, advising on structuring and compliance for the clients. Well, there's a few things. I would say a lot of my time was being taken up by the legal admin. It's all necessary, but very repetitive tasks, like obviously reviewing and comparing agreements, but tracking changes, pulling out key clauses or obligations across documents. They're all very important steps in the process, but they don't always require that really deep legal judgment. So it's a lot of time being wasted there. I don't have a paralegal or an admin support, so everything does fall on me, and I can find that incredibly time consuming and sometimes exhausting. Time. I think I don't just mean work-wise, but time with my family as well. So when you're stretched, even small inefficiencies, they add up. Couldn't really step back and think more strategically, but sometimes the pressure of the heavy admin tasks, they chip away at your ability to really focus on the bigger picture. And that's both professionally and personally. And nobody wants a stressed mom and someone that doesn't have time with their kids or is getting a little bit short. So, yeah, time. The quality time I was missing from both aspects, professionally and personally. I think it's always a bit of a slow burn. You hear about it, you're interested, it captivates, you want to learn more about it, but you're also a bit more cautious. So, similar to like various social media and everything else, I took my stop time, took some baby steps, and then you do see that, that positive response or the positive result, and then you're more inclined or more trusted in it. And yeah, it kind of went from there. Definitely. I think I initially thought it might be too generic or miss the nuances. They couldn't really apply to the kind of detail, I guess, context specific work that I do. But to be honest, it's really proven to be the opposite. It highlights the issues and the gaps and inconsistencies more efficiently. And I guess helps me get to the core of a document much faster. So if anything, it's just a really supportive tool. It doesn't replace lawyers by any means. In fact, that's opposite as well. It's when you know how to use it, it really just supports you with your work and just streamlining the processes. Yeah, it's been a real godsend. No, exactly that. Like it's literally like having a highly diligent, well, legal assistant or paralegal beside you at all times that you can really rely upon. And I guess that means I can do my work more thoroughly, more consistently, and spend more time on the actual legal analysis or commercial thinking that really matters and that adds the value to the client. So the more mundane, time-consuming tasks, I have a very competent assistant helping me in that end. I'd used it for a few smaller matters or a few smaller tasks and had some positive responses. But I do remember I had to cross-reference like three really lengthy interrelated documents for consistency. And that would have taken me hours. And to be honest, probably like sleepless nights as well. And then going back into it the next day, exhausted. And even then, like subtle variations or terminology differences, those can be easily missed, especially when you're a bit tired and on your 60th page. And that's when I realized how much the AI could really support accuracy and save an incredible amount of time. And again, not replacing the legal work at all, but giving me a much smarter way to manage it. I would say it's helped bring more consistency to my review, and it's made it really significantly easier to identify key issues early on and concepts faster without getting caught up in the repetitive and mundane admin. AI, it's takes care of a lot of the time-consuming tasks, so like the extracting of key information or time frames, flagging unusual terms, the cross-checking. Especially cross-checking against like your preferred precedent or wording of clauses or legislation. But that means I can really focus more on the strategy, negotiations, and the client-facing advice that I think that's where the value really adds up. And that's massive for our firm. It's really allowed us to deliver results faster, more clearly, and with greater confidence. Absolutely. We definitely have much better turnaround times and much happier clients because we're able to get to them quickly with confidence without any compromise of quality, if anything, improvement to quality, because you have somebody checking over your work almost at all times. I would say, due to me also being a full-time mom as well, my hours are a bit more limited. So if anything, it's given a bit of the balance back in my life. So I have been able to take on, yes, more matters, but more I've been able to just, I guess, streamline some of the work and also enjoy or even log off a bit earlier some nights or evenings, which I can then spend that time with the family, which has been great. To be honest, a lot of it. Like it's really incredible. And every time I use it, and I've been doing a lot of the educational videos that are within AI Legal Assistant, and they've been incredibly helpful. But it really is amazing what it's capable of. But I think what surprised me most is that, yeah, the AI itself just, it's not a threat at all. It's just becoming like part of the infrastructure of how we work and the huge benefits in terms of consistency and creativity and concept efficiency. It's yeah, it's been a real game changer for us. Most definitely. Especially when you're operating for the most part solo and, you're not having another paralegal or person to always bounce off of. It is like having that very capable individual or person beside you and just double checking or reviewing your work. And they often pick up things too that you might have missed, especially when it's, multi documents or significant amount of pages. I feel much more confident in the results that I'm presenting to clients because it's not just my legal review, but it's been cross-checked against the legislation and up to date like terminology. If anything's been missed, I'm not bogged down on the repetitive tasks. I'm also much clearer headspace and I feel I can, yeah, deliver much better value to my clients. It is. When you have to review so many different pages and you have, say, multiple matters and multiple agreements, remembering everything and, really separating in your head what's going on and being on top of all the time constraints and everything else that's required, it is a huge mental load, let alone in addition to, being a parent and keeping up with kids' sports and everything else in between. And I find that the legal AI is just so beneficial in terms of helping you, I guess, just having that support system and able to pull out all the key obligations here and the timeframes and the deadlines. And I can kind of, I guess, relieve some of the mental load that I have because I've got it in writing in front of me or somebody else assisting me along the way. I'm really optimistic about it. I truly believe that we're delivering a far better standard of work and much faster. And I think that gives our firm a huge edge as well. And I think it leads to happier clients. So it's really a win for everyone. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. No. No, I definitely couldn't. I do think that if I went back to the old way, I'd probably be burnt out and exhausted. And I do think that you'd fall behind. AI, it will become the air we breathe, the water we drink, just like the internet and social media today. So yes, anything has its upsides and downsides, but it will power you professionally and personally. So I think you need to be versed in it because it has some huge advantages. The team's fantastic. They've been incredibly responsive, proactive. The educational videos that are there. So whenever I have a query, I've reached out a few times if I've had any issues or when we're unable to kind of figure something out or if something came back and it wasn't quite working properly. And it was all explained really quickly, which was great. Yeah, the team is wonderful, really rare and valuable. I'm just really grateful for the team. I know I shared a few stories with you before in the ways that it has helped me, but it's really nice to feel like I have a support system now and being able to log off here and there at a reasonable or appropriate hours. I'm very grateful and yeah, very grateful for the AI.